Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for February 2022. This is going to be part 1. There will be a part 2 linked up in the top pinned comment down below, so make sure to check out part 2. But we're just going to jump right. I love this card. I haven't seen it yet, but it says goldfish on it, so clearly there could be some luck coming in for you here. I like to see that, but let's see what is going on for you. It's interesting. This first row sucks, but you have this clouds card, and it says temporary problems. I feel like this is like a hope in the reading. Sorry, let me just move this. I feel like this is a hope or a desire that you have to kind of remove any obstacles or issues that you have been experiencing at this time. So, that's what I'd say there. I feel like clearly any of these issues are clearly temporary. You actually have 3 cards here in this row that represent temporary energy. Actually, all these cards represent temporary energy. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I always say the Nine of Swords represents something temporary. It represents something that doesn't last. The moon comes up, the moon goes down. The Three of Swords, it is raining on the Three of Swords. It does not rain forever. Unless you're on, Saturn or one of those outer planets, then sure. But, for the one person that's going to leave that comment, we don't live on Saturn. So it does not rain forever. We live here on Earth. And what I would say here is whatever you're going through is clearly temporary. I feel like you're hoping that things will clear up. I'm shooting this video on the 22nd of January. And earlier this week, yesterday, the 21st, and before that, I was feeling something I haven't felt in a very long time, which is a very frustrated energy, really for no reason. I have no reason to be frustrated. But I was feeling this frustration energy. I feel it here for you in this first row. So I feel like you just need to realize that whatever this energy is temporary. Again, you have the moon, the Nine of Swords, and the Three of Swords here. All 4 of these cards, I should say, are temporary. The moon here doesn't say stop either. There's a path that runs straight down the middle of the moon here, and it just says keep going towards those mountains that are in the background. Mountains represent achievements in the tarot as well. If we go even in this direction, we go moon, Page of Swords to the 10 of Cups. It's like 10 of Cups is fortune after difficulty, happiness, good things coming in for you. So I feel there are a lot of good things. Even this way, 3 of Swords, Page of Swords, Queen of Pentacles is an increase in your finances. Queen of Pentacles card are your resources as well, so it could just be a resource increase. So, like I said, things I think look good. There's really no reason to dwell on this first row. I feel like it's just talking about an energy. You probably know what I'm talking about because you're watching this. You're probably feeling it. Either it's like a frustrated energy or it's just you're hoping that you can come out of a period of time that you've been in for a while. In your next row, you have this jug card. It says lighthearted, carefree time. Amazing. I feel that there is some lighthearted energy clearly coming in for you. There could be some happiness coming in for you as well. The other thing that I think is interesting is that you have the Hierophant, the Page of Swords, and the Hermit. The Hermit is climbed to the top of the mountain. He's standing at the top of the mountain, and he's shining his inner light. Those mountains in the background of the moon. It's like he could be standing at the top of those mountains. So I feel like you've been through a lot recently. I feel like you've been through a lot of heavy energy. Maybe not recently, but for a while, really. So yes, recently, but also, in the past as well. You've been through some kind of difficulties and challenges. You kind of have 2 cards here that really represent a rite of passage. The Hermit and then also the Hierophant. The Hierophant has 3 levels to the crown that is on his head. He represents education and learning, and I feel like you have definitely learned from the situations that you've been going through. The 3 levels to his crown are initiation, apprenticeship, and mastery. So it's you're learning how to master a certain situation in your life. I feel like you get the Hermit a lot, right? Am I wrong? I'm pretty sure it's you. I'm always saying that, yeah, it is you. Because I'm always saying that, the universe... Intuitively, I just feel like the universe is calling you out to be an example, That's the best way I could that's the best way I could describe the reading. It's I feel like the universe is kind of really asking you to break some sort of mold. It's you ever it's like I don't really have a good example for this, Leo, what I'm about to say, so bear with me. But, it's like you ever meet a person where you're like, oh, that person's never going to change, I feel like there's maybe something about you that people maybe say that you're never going to change, but I feel like you have the opportunity to change is what this is encouraging you to do. So very weird. It's like we all have these patterns, right? Like I believe we all have these patterns probably from childhood or our parents or, because of where we went to school or whatever, and it doesn't matter. The point is I feel like you have the opportunity to break a pattern. And I also feel like it doesn't matter like how old you are either. Both of these cards represent maturity, the Hierophant and the Hermit. I always get comments from people that are like, I'm 65. I'm like, great, you got like another 20 years left. That's like a whole entire lifetime practically. It's like, I think about what I did between the ages of 1 and 20, and it was like, there's a lot of stuff there, right? So if you're 65, you got at least 20 years left. And, what I would say here, unless zombies are next. If zombies are next, we're all screwed. But I don't think it's going to be zombies. Although, I don't know. I might be eating those words later, right? And what I would say here is that you got a lot of time. So you got plenty of time. And especially if you're younger than that, then you have even more time, right? And I feel like this Hermit card is saying you don't have to be the same that you've been for your whole entire life. Normally I say that with the Magician, but I'm getting it here on the Hermit because the reason I think it's showing up with the Hermit energy in my head is because the Hermit can represent being an example. Again, he's shining that inner light out into the world. And so I feel like the world needs you as an example. It's also very interesting that there's only one other sign that I say this to. That sign is Pisces, and you have the moon showing up in your reading. And you also have this goldfish card as well. So, just like an interesting side note, some of you could be dealing with a Pisces, but I don't really feel that's what it's saying. I feel like it's just making the connection between the two signs. So there you go. In your last row here, you have the goldfish. This says increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. I actually feel both increases for you with this card, Leo. So there is clearly a lot of luck. I also feel like there's a lot of growth and abundance coming in for you with this goldfish energy. Also a lot of luck I'm getting as well. So I feel like it's a very lucky time for you. I feel that your focus is going to be important. Let's switch this camera. You have the Queen of Pentacles, the Two of Cups, and the Ten of Cups here. The Queen of Pentacles, I feel, is your focus. Like, she is very focused on the pentacle. She's not focused on this rabbit right here. The rabbit kind of represents abundance and fleetness and speed, but it can also represent fears, anxieties, things like that. And she's only focused on the pentacle. So it's like very important for you to focus on what you do want, the Queen of Pentacles. And it doesn't have to be money. It could be anything. It could be love, health. It could be anything. She's just the card of being resourceful. It doesn't mean she necessarily has something. She's resourceful. There's a difference between like having money and being resourceful. She could be resourceful and have no money, but she could still get everything that she wants because, she could use her resources. There's like a kid on YouTube, right? This was like a story on the news like years ago. Some guy who did it, he like traded from a pen to a car. There's a kid on YouTube now who does the same thing. He like takes he starts with a penny and trades up to like a car or a house or I don't know, something like that, right? So the point is, that's being resourceful. You're starting with nothing and you're getting something. So the opportunity exists. I always like to remind people of what's possible because if someone has done it, then you can do it, plain and simple. And, I feel like the Queen of Pentacles is talking about diving into your resources. This could be like hidden talents, gifts, skills, and abilities. It could also be people as well, can be a resource. Like they can help us do things. We can help them do things as well. You have the Two of Cups, which would be, kind of coming to some sort of agreement as well. People always get mad when I say people are resources. I'm like, well, okay, people are using you all day long. Trust me. So it's like we're resources to someone or something else, right? So what's important is that we create co-creative experiences. It's okay to use another person as a resource. You're not using them as long as you're creating, a mutually beneficial situation, right? But, I think people that say that are just going to get taken advantage of in the first place. But what I would say here is this is like a mutually beneficial agreement that you're coming to. So if you're working with other people or if you're using other people as a resource, then what I would say here is that it's going to be very important for you to create balance with the Two of Cups. Two of Cups is like you scratch my back, I scratch yours type of situation here. I do also feel like this could be love. I wouldn't really call this a love reading. You do have the Hierophant, Ten of Cups, this card here. Yeah, I mean, some of you could be moving towards marriage or love, but I really feel this is more talking about kind of just beneficial relationships in general. I also feel like this is talking about you and your higher self. The Two of Cups is like you and your higher self. It's you communicating like your it's your like your higher self is maybe guiding you towards desires, usually with the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups also represents communication. There's the staff of Hermes between these two people, and it can say that your higher self is communicating with you, but what I would say the problem with Two of Cups is usually not direct communication when it's our higher self. It's usually like signs, symbols, dreams, things like that. So you're gonna have to pay attention to the things that are going on around you. You also have this Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is fortune after difficulty and abundance. I feel like this is the desire that you have, is to be happy, to have happiness in your life, and this is what you're hoping to move towards. So I definitely like to see that. I really feel this reading is pretty simple. I feel like it's saying you're breaking some sort of mold. Like I was saying earlier, it's like maybe people have you in a certain box, and you're like getting outside the box, to use a cliche term. The Hierophant is inside the box. So I feel like you're getting outside the box. You're thinking outside the box, you're maybe growing as a person, or you're kind of like trying to change who you are. And I feel like if anyone can do it, it could be you. And again, I feel like there's no need, like I said, I think the other really important thing here is that people always have these things where they say like, oh, that person is this, right? It's like maybe people are saying that to you. Maybe they say, oh, that person is X, Y, and Z. I feel like you're trying to break away from that. And again, you can. You are allowed to do that. You are allowed to change who you are. It's like it's kind of funny because someone just asked me the other day what my Myers-Briggs is, right? It's like everybody loves Myers-Briggs, right? But it's like, one of those things. We're not static beings. Our personality can change. We can change who we are. And we don't have to stay the same. And I think sometimes, like, while I love the Myers-Briggs too, it's like I feel like sometimes those things kind of lock us into, like, thinking that we have to operate in a certain way, when really we don't. We are free to do what we want. And I feel like this reading is trying to say that as well, for whatever reason. But that's what I'm getting here. So thank you for being here, Leo. Really appreciate it. Again, part 1 is linked up in the pinned comment down below.